Governor, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Principal Dr. Hang, Cluster Superintendent, Ms. Haslinda, Mrs. Chauventin, fellow esteemed members of the College Advisory Committee, Vice Principal, fellow teachers, distinguished parents, and most importantly, the class of 2018. I'm very, very honored here to be invited as the guest of honor for this ceremony presentation, because this is the final cohort of JJC. As I look back 30 years ago, I was a JJC student like you. I was from the class 89 GS Street. 89 seems like a long way to go previously. Okay. Sitting in a hall, similar in a college setting like this, listening to a guest speaker like me. Unlike you, which are probably more excited than I was grumpy and because I was arrowed to come back on a Saturday to attend this award ceremony. I'm sure you guys are different. But fast forward 30 years from that day, I must be frank, I have absolutely no recollection who the guest speaker was. And I absolutely cannot remember what did he say that day. So while drafting this speech, and mind you, I've given many talks before, this speech I drafted for 2 weeks. I told myself that I must leave with you, hopefully something that you not only remember for today, for the rest of your life. I hope that it will inspire you to lead a great and wonderful life. Today, the theme of my speech is guts and passion. Guts and passion. And I'll be telling you this theme with 3 stories from my life in hope that will inspire you to live life to the fullest. And by the way, this message also goes out to all the teachers, not just to the students. My first story is about starting up. I graduated in 1990 from JJC. I was a top student then. That's not my point. I then pursued an economics degree. I was inspired by then a very inspiring JJC teacher called Mr. Ong Sun Seng. Mr. Sia and a few teachers will remember him. I worked very hard and was awarded a first-class honours in economics from NUS Economics School. I was then awarded an undergraduate scholarship from Singtel, and since my graduation, I spent 20 years working for Singtel. I was later awarded an executive scholarship again by Singtel to go to, I didn't know this photo came out. Okay. I was later awarded an executive program to go to Stanford University for a master's program in business. At the peak of my career, I was the CEO of a Singtel subsidiary, and I have 150 staff across 7 countries. In short, I followed a very typical social norm that Singapore parents like to tell their kids. This is what you probably hear from your parents. Study hard, get good grades, after that join a big company and get a good job. Isn't that what your parents tell you? Okay, and I see a big guilty face somewhere around here. But deep in my heart, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to build and own a business of my own, to allow my creativity and innovation flow, and this was my passion. But like most Singaporeans, unfortunately, I didn't have the guts to do it. Many of my friends and family told me this: 90% of all business fail. You'll be wasting a good university education and certificate in the entrepreneurial world. You'll risk all your hard-earned savings in the business world. You're too old to be an entrepreneur. And besides, entrepreneurship was not the norm. I have 3 young kids then. By the way, my 3 kids are here today. And I have an exciting career in Singtel, probably paved all the way into my retirement. Why give them all up to start a business? So for 2 decades, I took the safer and more proven path to work in the corporate world, and I buried and stifled that passion in my heart. But after 2 decades of procrastination, 2 decades, 20 years, okay? At the age of 42 years old, I've decided that I'll take the plunge as an entrepreneur, and I started Premium Mall, an e-commerce company with my wife. Starting a business at 40 years old is very difficult. It was scary and it was tough. I had to cut back on all luxuries of life. I used to have 2 cars. My wife and I would each drive a car. We got rid of them, swapped to a smaller one. I know this probably sounds funny, but I start taking public buses again and MRTs. Now for you guys, maybe not, but for me, I've been driving my whole life. I push myself to take buses whenever my car is used for delivery. It was also very hard work. We will wake up at 5, 6 a.m. every day and start work immediately. And eventually, by the end of the day, we will stop work near midnight. And by the way, I still do that now. For the first time in many years, I didn't have anyone to work for me. I would have to do everything myself, together with my wife. I would do the marketing, business development. My wife would handle the sales and logistics. For 2 years, I had to be the company driver to deliver the merchandise to the customers in order to save on expenses. Starting a business is not easy. I would drive from morning to the night, Monday to Sunday, wherever I'm in Singapore. It was extremely tedious, humbling. Imagine yourself knocking on doors, delivering the goods to the customer. And there was one occasion I remembered. I delivered a package to a customer's house. Guess who opened the door? A JJC teacher opened the door. And he was shocked that JJC CAC chairman has now become a delivery boy. But pursuing my passion gave me the guts and confidence to throw aside all pride, all social norm, family expectation, personal expectation, and just press on. This was a very humbling experience, but yet it trained me, right, to be tough, to be creative, and have the freedom to innovate and excel. I grew so much wiser, stronger, and creative in these startup years. I'm very proud to tell you today that Premier Mall, my company today, is a thriving multi-million-dollar company. And is supported by a few 100,000 loyal fans. Entrepreneurship, don't get me wrong, is still tough and challenging. But because it is my passion, I will take dance to work every day, enjoying every moment of it. I discovered this secret in life of success. Pursuing your passion will give you the highest chance of success in life, as if it would be you are playing your favorite game. You'll feel energized, your mind will be creative, and your tenacity will be the strongest. So looking back, me and my wife had only one regret. What's the regret? Why didn't we start earlier? Okay? So please, don't be like me, don't be like my wife. Don't wait till 2 decades to start pursuing your passion, right? Start your search for passion today, and when you find it, summon all your guts and follow it. You too will be successful and live life to the fullest. My second story is the story of 1M65. When I was 30 years old, Singapore just came out of the Asia financial crisis and the global dot-com bust. Some of you guys, I'm not even sure were born, or just were babies. Many Singaporeans, including myself, were burned financially by the 2 economic crises, as we were immature financially to deal with money and investment. I was then introduced to a very important financial concept by a financial guru. It's can we have this slide? Okay, for those who need to know how to make $1 million, I will spend 1 million on this, okay? I then discovered that, hey, to make $1 million is actually there's this magic formula, okay? It says this: if you and your wife each contribute $130,000 inside and find an instrument and give you 4% return, it will, over 35 years, compound to $1 million. I don't think you're getting it one more time. It means that at 30 years old, when I just started work, me and my wife worked very hard, put in $130,000 each into an instrument that gives me 4% return. And from that day onwards to the rest of our life, I don't need to work anymore, and I'll still have $1 million waiting for me, a retirement. Wow. Isn't that show? It's quite show, right? So this was an amazing formula, and I found that out. The only financial instrument I could find was this 4% risk-free return from the CPF board. Okay? Well, the CPS Special Account was an amazing account. Some people don't like CPF, I understand. Some people don't like government, I understand. You don't need to love the government, you just need to love their money. Okay? To put in $130,000 at a young age was very tough. We worked very hard. We were frugal, we were hardworking. I worked 2 jobs, and and with a lot of guts and passion, we did it. Amazingly, the power of compounding. Do you know how the compound graph works? I think we can get a math teacher to teach you. The graph goes like this. It didn't go like this, it goes like this. So in later years, I'm now in the upturn. So the power of compounding works so well that by 45 years old, me and my wife crossed the $1 million mark in our CPF account. Okay? The CPF board soon discovered this amazing feat that we did and requested that I give a talk to their retiring members to share this financial know-how. I was very reluctant. You know, typical Chinese businessmen, when you make money, you like keep quiet. They don't want to teach their kung fu, right? But I relented after repeated requests. On the day of the talk, there are about 300 to 400 retirees. Most of them are in the 50 or 60 years old. I shared with them as a couple. I was quite brainless actually. I shared with them that, you know, if you put $130,000 and put it over 30 years, you will have $1 million in the account. After the talk, I was swarmed by a big crowd of aunties and uncles. And they gathered around me and asked me this question. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Why did you tell me 30 years ago? I don't have 30 years to go, you know? You know, in Chinese, they say, 半个脚进棺材 already. Half a leg in the coffin. Why? My heart sank, and it was a very emotional moment for me to know that so many Singaporeans could be better off if they knew what I know and did what I've done. An emotional swelling and emotional calling swelled in my heart that day. More Singaporeans need to know about 1865. This is the thing I came up. What difference can I do? I'm just one person, one single person without resource and team. How am I going to spread the message? So this is very important. I just make it a point and follow Nike's slogan, just do it. I just simply start by sharing this financial strategy to everybody I meet, encouraging more Singaporeans to take advantage of the CPS special account, the 4 to 5% when they're young, so that many could retire as millionaires. This was the start of the 1865 movement. I would give financial talks free, wrote financial articles about 1865. Because of the novelty, many news agencies, many social media, financial news media interviewed me and publicized 1865. Okay? I don't know why Men's Health would interview me actually. I don't look very healthy. Over time, more and more organizations invite me, and I've done my 57th talk last month. This month I have 3 talks that will make 60. More financial news media requests me to write regularly to them so that they can educate fellow Singaporeans about 1865. This is the next slide, please. Okay, this is the ultimate talk. I was invited by CPF board to talk to CPF about CPF. Okay, so this was the CEO and the deputy CEO of CPF board, and they really affirmed me. And in 2018, the government gave me a Public Sector Transformation Award. This award is usually given only to civil servants, and I was one of the rare non-civil servants to be given a Public Sector Award for 1865. In case you're wondering, I've never collected 1 cent for my 1865 effort. This is guts and passion. This is a public service that's driven by a higher calling my heart. Today, tens of thousands of Singaporeans have heard the 1865 message from me personally, and many of them are actively pursuing this financial strategy. Many financial enthusiast community had joined me in propagating the 1865 financial strategy, and hopefully one day we'll reach out to all Singaporeans. Many Singaporeans have written to me to thank me for 1865, and it's a very fulfilling journey to be able to serve fellow Singaporeans to become millionaires. The point of my story is this. One day, life will give you a higher calling in your heart. One day, life will give you a higher calling in your heart to serve others. You too can make a difference in this world. Just have the guts and passion to do it. My third story is the story of SQ368. The story started that one day, me and my wife were going to Europe. The plane took off. At about 2 o'clock, the plane took off, and 2 hours later in the plane, we start to smell this smell. Kerosene smell. No? So I asked my wife, what's the smell? That's strange, right? Then the pilot came in the air and said, ladies and gentlemen, you might have smelled it by now. Then we've detected there's an oil leak on the right engine. But don't worry, we're flying back. asked my wife, what's an oiling? You know, car, you have petrol and engine oil. Engine oil is not dangerous, petrol is more dangerous. So anyway, my wife, I said, probably not dangerous. So let's go back. So waste 4 hours for nothing. So the plane came back. And before the plane lands, you wake everybody up, sit. My wife was sitting here, I was sitting here, there was an empty seat, and here was a right wing. The plane came down, land, boom, then everybody clapped. So I also clapped. I look at my wife, I clap. My wife look at me and look at the window outside and we mix. The whole right wing caught fire. This was a video that was filmed out by me. Okay, thanks. Okay. The whole right wing was on fire. Okay. Did I die? Obviously I didn't, right? Okay. We were evacuated eventually after the fire spread. This is a demonstration of incredible Singapore efficiency, right? And 7 fire engines came and put out the fire immediately. The SQ368 fire was the closest call I ever faced death in the face. This incident taught me one thing. Please remember this. Life is really short and unpredictable. So don't waste your life away following social norms. Discover your passion and pursue it. Treasure each day as if it was the last. From the day onwards of the SQ368 fire, I will hold my kids dear. I hold my kids dearly to my heart, loving them, teaching them, and coaching them to be good, strong, and wise. I've since then doubled down my business, and I've stepped up on helping Singaporeans on 165. The fire on SQ368 had convinced me that for today and every day, I need to live for my passion. For tomorrow might never come. So please make every day of your life count. In conclusion, this is my message to everyone. Find your passion and pursue it. At your age today, you should be going out and explore the world. Try out new adventure, try out new things. Discover what your passion is. Like all love song, when you find it, you know it. Then let your passion burn in you. Let it consume you. Let it overflow in you. You will live life well and success will eventually find you if you persist on. When the journey gets cold and lonely, your passion will be the fire that warms your heart and gives you joy and energy. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and I wish you all the best in your life ahead, that you may live life with guts and passion. Thank you.